In this video, we're going to be talking about how we can get more eBay sales. What are we going to be doing to get more eBay sales? Well, we're going to be looking at titles. And if you're new to the channel, we do these eBay store reviews every week, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have an eBay store and you want a review, just drop it in the comment section down below and we will get to it. But today we're going to be dealing with title structure. We're going to be looking at title structure for the reason being at it is one of the most important reasons why your items are not selling or not even being found at all, and it is due to title and title structure. So we're going to be looking at other things within the listings to be able to help get people's stores more optimized, get them to be able to be found in search, and we're going to be looking at the pricing. So we have a few stores lined up in the queue. Let's jump right into it. And if you also have questions as well, just leave it in the comments and we will jump in and out of those as we go along the live stream. I hope you're doing well. Let's get right into it. We got cards for sale up first. So 900 items sold. You have 350 items. If you are in the chat, do you want to just give a brief explanation as far as like how many listings are you doing a day? How long have you been on eBay? If you provide that information, it will be a little bit more helpful for me to be able to analyze your store a bit better. But right off the bat, your photos look great. They look good. Good for eBay. First thing I like to check is sell-through rate of the store in general. So just to be able to kind of gauge on the health of the store. So at 350 items, I typically would want at least a half to a full percent sell-through rate every day in my store. So what is 1% of 350? That is 3 to 3.5 items sold every day. So let's look to see how many items you're selling every day, just so we can know. That's really going to give us a broad overall general idea of like if you're pricing your items at market, the quality of the items that you're picking up, and that's going to really help determine, if you have 1,000 item store and you're selling one item a day, there's going to be a cause for concern there because you'd want to be selling between, 5 to 10 items a day. One item a day with 1,000 items, that's going to be hard to figure, oh, I'm pricing everything right. Oh, I'm picking up the best items. But if you're selling one a day, then you need to go back in your store and reanalyze. So looking at your solds, looks like you sold, one yesterday. You didn't sell anything on the 22nd. You sold one on the 21st and one on the 20th, one on the 19th. So it seems like sales every so often. You did have an okay sales day on the 15th. But that's fine. You know what? At 350 items and you're selling 1 or 2 items a day, that's just fine. So now let's look at see how we can get your store better, because I always believe there's things that we could be doing as resellers to make our stores better. So let's keep it with the basics though, right? Let's look at the titles. Titles are so important. eBay is a search-based algorithm, and if we aren't typing in our titles and structuring our titles how the majority of buyers are searching for our items, then we may be left out or maybe left on page 2, page 7, page 9. And remember, no one is going to page 9 for a Gap sweater. Sorry to say, they're not. So back into it. Let's check out a few of these listings. I think the quality of the items as far as the brands are okay. Banana Republic, you had some Express, Old Navy, yeah. I always just recommend try to pick up the best items that you can when you're first starting out. Quality versus quantity when you first start. So Field & Stream shirt, men's extra large. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's the perfect title structure. What do you need my help for? I'm just kidding. So Field & Stream shirt, men's extra large. So our title structures are brand, item, gender, size. You have that perfect. Then you have camouflage long sleeve, hunting, mossy camo crew. Very good, very good. And I think your photos look great. The main thing we're looking at when we look at photos for eBay especially when you're selling used items, you want to just really be able to accurately transfer to the buyer what the item looks like in person, right? So that means like color accuracy, well lit photos. It doesn't mean white background, it just means color accuracy and good lighting. That's it. Because remember, at the end of the day, we are selling used items. So you have measurements in your photos. I always recommend taking measurements. That's just another way to help convert more buyers, giving more buyers another piece of detail and information that they can use to whether they want to make the purchase or not. Your price is really good on that, $9.99. That's amazing. $5.95 shipping, 30-day returns, buyer pays return shipping. Very good. Let's look at some of your item specifics. I don't ever put NA into any of my item specifics. I leave it blank because NA is not searchable and it's a waste of time. So if you're selling similar off of your own listings, then that's going to transfer over on your next listings, and that's something that you're not going to want to have. So instead of NA, I leave it blank. And then your description, although I do love short descriptions, I think you do need to be putting something more than just copy paste the title. Putting things like in your item description, like your policies. For me, it's simple, like my return policy, my same day shipping, my clothing is cleaned according to eBay guidelines and eBay standards. It's going to talk about please see photos for exact measurements as tag size may differ from measured size, things like that. And I have it in bullet points, clear, bolded bullet points so the buyer can read it. The buyer does not want to read 4 paragraphs of all of your legalese of what you're trying to say about your item. No one's going to read that, and especially on mobile. But keeping it short and concise, but having more than just the title copy and paste is really going to help maybe transfer some information to the buyer so they can make the choice to make the purchase. Also, too, you might be listing from your phone. If you're listing from your phone, disregard what I said as far as the copying and the pasting of the title. When you list from your phone, it automatically does this, so that's okay. Just try adding maybe a few things in there. I have templates, so for me, when I sell similar, it just copies over every time. But if you're wanting to start templates when you're just starting out, then as you sell similar, you won't need to use your templates anymore. But then you also, if you didn't have the template, you don't need to copy paste that information in every single listing. So create a template and put some, your shipping policy, your measurements, some things about your business in that, and then you can continue to sell similar, and that will show up in all of your listings. But looking at your next item here, we will look at it, X-ray jeans. Okay, so I would do X-ray shorts, men's, 30. And I don't put size. The reason why I don't put size is because I can use a better keyword in place of that will help describe my item better. I would only use the word size for when I'm talking about shoes or hats. So yeah, I wouldn't use size. I do like the photos here. I don't know if you use the white background remover thing, but those photos look great. A little blurry on the tag, but X-ray shorts, camo, and they're not ripstop. That's fine. So yeah, all the other keywords look great. I would just change that to X-ray shorts, men's, 30. Price is okay. They are new with tags, $8.95 shipping. Very good. And yeah, just what I would just try to work on is your little bit more in your product description. And I understand if you're doing it from your phone, but maybe try to go in there and put a little bit more detail. New with tags. Color olive camo. So that's not an actual color. You don't ever want to make up item specifics when you are putting them in. You only want to use the ones that are actually eligible. So you have olive camo here. I would just put green or multicolored. Brand, if that is the brand X-Ray Jeans, and some brands are like that, you're going to want to put X-Ray Jeans Shorts, if that's what the actual brand is. Or you could just put X-Ray Shorts and leave X-Ray Jeans as the brand item specific. It'll be found either way. So very good otherwise on your item specifics. So as far as like a little bit of just things that you can improve, you know, a little bit about your titles, you know, Ann Taylor loft skirt, women's size 2. I would just start working on removing the word size. Stony Brook University hoodie. It is a hoodie, but I usually would call it a sweater, but everyone's different. I call it a sweater, sweatshirt, pullover, hoodie. So I would do Stony Brook sweater, and then I would put hoodie as a keyword. So June and Ivy dress. I usually try to take the full picture of the full item for the first photo. So I don't know what that strategy is for you in there. But for the most part, your titles look pretty good. Maybe just a few tweaks here and there. And then just working on your product description is really going to help. So jumping back into chat, hope all is well. Kelly says, the Southern vibe. Well, we're putting you in. I need to speed things up. Should have drank 10 cups of coffee this morning. Know what I was thinking. So, okay, the Southern vibe. Gotcha. All right. So we got you, Southern vibe. All right. Back on track. All right, so Jen Admission says, in the process of moving, so my store is a bit slim, gonna crank up listings soon. Right on. Yeah, moving when you have a store takes some strategic planning, my friend, so I commend you for that. Robert says, I was a card seller years ago, but now I'm going into clothes. Yeah, I was wondering when I was typing in your store name, I was like, oh man, is this gonna be, not clothing, and it's fine. I think your name for your store is really irrelevant. Like, what's a Google? What's a Yahoo? What's a Nike? When it comes down to the branding of your name, I think a lot of people spend a little too much time on their names, but that's very good that you're making the switch into clothing. Kind of what got you into that, and what kind of sparked your interest in making that switch. Great Deals Depot. Okay, we're adding you in. Oh, man. All right. So, Great Deals Depot. And I will just say that if we can't get to your store on this live stream, what I do is I just add you to the next one. So, I usually can get to about 5 or 6 within an hour. So don't feel bad, and I'm sorry if we miss you. You'll be added to next Wednesday's live stream, and we will get to you for sure. Elio Mora, hello. Hey, Bo, thanks for the video. Good information you give. Oh, I appreciate you. What is going on? Brother Marcus, how's it going? Is it hot where you're at? It's supposed to be 80 degrees today. I'm looking forward. Kelly says, could you do a video on doing templates? Sure, I definitely can. I have no clue how to start those. I've always just searched my item and used that to sell similar. Is there a better way? Okay, so no, that's right. If you search your item and use that to sell similar, that's the way to do it. When I talk about templates, I'm talking about, let's go into a listing. So I'll just give you a quick preview. So templates like within your listing. So you could see one of my listings here. When I'm talking about templates is when you go to your description here on the desktop, you see you have this already in there, and it's already in there because I've sold similar off my own items. But if you're a new reseller and you're trying to figure out how to get the product description the same because you're selling the same items, you're going to want to hit this button here where it says description and then custom template. And when I click on mine, I have a few. I have clothing, which is just used clothes. I have new with tags. I have new without tags. And then I have shoes. So create as many as you'd like, but keep them simple. So you're going to want to create template, and you're going to want to name that template. Say it's clothing used, and then you want to come up with your own little saying here. So this is my default saying for all of my used clothing. This is for all of them. And I only change this if it has a spot, hole, pilling, tears, missing zipper, broken buttons, and etc. But the default, nothing when there's nothing wrong with the item, is this: used condition with light signs of wear. Please see photos for exact measurements, as size may differ from tag. So that is my condition description in my product description as well. So I built that condition description into my template, so I don't have to copy paste over and over again. It just shows up as I sell similar in my store. I hope that was helpful. And if you need more explanation, we can get into it. So, all right. So, Sapphire Treasures Trove. So I got you in there. I added you. You are actually coming up. Yeah, you're second after the bad goat, which is coming up next. So Dixon says, so Marcus, you say it's 82 degrees. Nice. I know every people that I'm talking to, we've kind of had a late start to our summer here. So, but people in Texas have been having 90-degree days already for months. So that's cool. 82 degrees, beautiful. Get out, enjoy the sun. Good morning, everyone. Zahara Tiki. Glenda says, sorry, 5-star thrifters. Okay, I'll add you as well. Star thrifters. Got it. Cool. All right, so added you. Rachel says, hello. Hello, Rachel. Kelly says, thank you so much for the explanation. Makes it so much easier to understand. I'll start making them today. Yeah, I won't say it's like a game changer, but it helps speed up a lot of time from copying, pasting things over and over again. Rachel says, quick questions. Do you promote? I do promote. I promote everything in my store at 10%. I do that because I sell a lot of items that are in saturated categories, and I sell a lot of items that are mall brands. So I promote because it's necessary, but there's also a fine line. You can run your business how you want. And I have always felt if I found something rare and that had like 100 to 300% sell-through rates, that's the time when I'm like, oh man, do I just want to give eBay money for free, basically? Or am I going to hold off promoting this item? I think for brands like Arc'teryx, CC Filson, really nice North Face down parkas, things that are like more unique and rare and have really high sell-through rates, that is going to be left up to you whether you want to promote those items or not. So it's up to you. I do it because I sell a lot of saturated, low sell-through rate items. Doug, what's going on? I hope you're well. Patreon member right here. He is crushing it. His store. Oh, man. So good. 1,000 items and you're crushing. Thanks for the great tips. What are the best-selling clothes in the summertime? So linen, silk, anything with that type of material. I'm selling more women's tops than I've ever sold. And I know that's kind of hit and miss for everyone because not everyone wants to pick up women's tops. But the last 2 months, I've been selling the most in women's tops, dresses, and then if you're to branch out on material, linen blend, tencel, lyocell, silk blend stuff, lightweight stuff. So if you're living in Florida, Louisiana, things like that, you're going to find a ton of that. Where in the Pacific Northwest, I don't find a ton of that, but it sells really well in the summertime. And of course, things like shorts, convertible pants, just lightweight stuff. Even light windbreakers and light jackets, light sweaters are still selling for me. So things like that. And, as far as patterns, I think that's less seasonal, but camouflage anything. But yeah, I really just stick with the materials when it comes to spring and summer. If it's linen and it's silk, lightweight, I'm going to pick it up regardless of brand, and it still sells. And it's pretty crazy on how many dresses we've been selling as well. So, Sapphire, you say, thank you. Zahara Tiki says, I'd love a review on my store. Zahara Tiki. All right, so we're loading up. We're going all in. I'm going to switch into my auctioneer voice, and we're just going to go fast, I guess. So, Zahara Tiki. All right. There we go. All right. Okay, and then like I said earlier, if you're just coming in, if we don't get to your store, you will be reviewed next week. So don't feel like you're missing out on anything. I will get to you. So Karina says, I've learned so much from listening. Thank you. Oh, well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. Rachel says, thank you. I promote, but not sure what percent because they throw a high percent at you sometimes, and I usually stay at 8. Yeah, so if you've noticed the suggested eBay's suggesting that you promote a little higher now. Why? Because they want more of your money. So I've stayed at 10%. But when you go to the suggested rate, I've noticed that it's gotten up to sometimes 14%, 12%. And sorry to say, I'm not promoting my Old Navy jeans for 14%. I'll stay at 10. So pick something that you're comfortable with. But I have noticed that if you do 10% and you want to go down, eBay is rather spiteful, and they will punish you for it. So pick something low to start, and then slowly increase. But don't go all in at 12%, and then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much cutting into my profits. Stay lower, and then slowly, gradually increase. See how that works. Indy Eric says, hey, Bo, I was wondering when you decide to start paying yourself. We have been reinvesting 100% of our profits into more items. Just curious if there is a certain metric you look for. Thank you. So yeah, I just go with what you can manage. It really is all about management for me. All of the money that is made, profits, go back into the business on eBay for me as well, and they will. I'm in full growth mode at all times. I'm trying to fill this warehouse up. And if you're along for the journey, you're going to see it happen. It may take a few years, but I think that making sure that you can, whether you're trying to use eBay to pay some of your expenses, account for that. But it's going to take a lot of management. I think if you want to grow and you don't, and you also want to pay your bills, it's going to be really hard for that to start because you're wanting to grow and not have to use like your profits to pay for, your house or your car. But using the profits to put solely back into your business, that's going to be the way you grow the fastest. So, you're going to have to just do your own due diligence, figure out what's right for you. It took me about 1.5 years before eBay could start to pay for our rent and our mortgage and our, storage units and all the other things that comes along with that. But now, eBay's paying for all of the expenses and the profit is going back into the business. So that's the best part. But you'll have to decide on what you want to do. But for me, when I first started, the first 1.5 years, everything went back into eBay. Everything. So it takes a little bit of time. Doug says, hey, everyone, please help Bo out and give him a thumbs up. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Smash like if you're getting value. You could subscribe if you're new to the channel. Every week we do this. Every week we come on here, we review your store, figure out how we can optimize your store to get more sales. And it's just the basics, ladies and gentlemen. It's just titles, price. Those are the two things that are converting your items, how you're pricing that item and how the title is structured. So let's get back into it. I don't want to take up your whole day. The Bad Goat is up next. Love it. Love this name. You got 3,300 items. This is not your first rodeo. You've sold 18,000 items. Very good. Very good. Let's look at your sell-through rate. At 3,300 items, we would be loving to see 33 sales a day, right? But we know as our stores grow, that's harder and harder to achieve. But it is dependent on the items, the quality of the items you're picking up. So if you are still here, Bad Goat, if you want to just put in the chat how many items you're listing a day and how long have you been listing that many items. So just for an example, how many you sold yesterday? 1, 2, okay. Looks like the dates are everywhere. So you might have had some missing or some awaiting payments in here, but they are all over. So also too, eBay's having some nice fun glitches at the moment. So that's fine. Ended recently. Okay. So if you also want to put in the chat how many you're averaging a day. So we could figure out what's going on in your store. But from just the looks of it, you are picking up really good stuff. You know, similar stuff that I pick up. Brooks Brothers, Buffalo David Bitton, Rockin' Republic, Eddie Bauer. It basically just looks like my store. Very good. I think your photos look spot on. They look really good. I am curious as to if you're taking an up close of like just the collar and the tag. I prefer having photos more like this, where you can kind of see the whole picture of it. I do that because I don't want buyers to be clicking into my listing just to get the full view, and then they figure, oh, I don't want it. So I'd rather have them look at my item like this when it's just the full picture, and then they can make the decision whether to click on it to make that purchase or not. But I don't want to be attracting the buyers where they go, oh, I'm interested, and then I click in, and then they see the full view of it, and they go, oh, something, because that's going to increase your bounce rate on your listings, which is going to signal to eBay that over time there's something wrong with this listing because buyers are clicking on, clicking off, clicking on, clicking off, and they're just doing that over and over again. So I try to give the full picture first versus and even though it's a great picture, it's just that's what I'm trying to avoid when buyers are trying to get the full view of the photo. So you could try playing around with that, but nonetheless, your photos look really good. Let's check out a few of your listings in detail so we can get an idea how you're doing your item specifics and whatnot. So let's see, your titles, Fox Racing Cargo Shorts, men's 36. So I would put Fox Racing Shorts, men's 36, and I would use cargo as a keyword. I really like the photos that you're putting measurements. They're very clear and well lit. It looks like you have a Sherpa background. That's really nice. I hope you have a vertical flat lay because that's going to be a nice way to just stick that on there and not have to mess around too much. But I'm really liking your store. $8.99 shipping. You have 60-day free returns. Great job. You're listing from the computer. You have great condition, no stains or major flaws. See photos for measurements and more detail. Amazing. Perfect. So, wow, look at these item specifics. Oh my, holy moly. Look at this. This is good. You're doing great. You got some item specifics filled out. They look accurate. Very good. And I love your item description. Amazing. So very simple. This is what I like. This is my favorite part of it. Please note, item measurements in photos are approximate. Previous washings on pre-owned items may have changed the sizing. Oh, beautiful. Please compare our measurements with your favorite garments to ensure fit. That is amazing. Great job. Perfect. Like I said, it's not your first rodeo. Very good title. Let's look at this pearl snapped. So Levi's standard fit pearl snap shirt. I would put Levi's shirt, men's XL, and then put standard fit pearl snap as a keyword because I'm trying to get the majority of buyers that are looking for Levi's shirts looking at my item. And that's why I'm structuring my title so boring and plain, because the majority of people that are looking for a Levi's shirt are typing in Levi's shirt. So just to help you rank a little bit better, be on page 1, and to be able to get in the broadest amount of search possible. Photos look really good on this as well. You got measurements, you got it all in there. And great price, $19.95, $5.95 shipping, and very good product description and item specifics. So yeah, I mean, just looking around at your store, you seem to know what you're doing. You have really good items. That's 90% of the battle, is finding good items to list anyways. But now just doing those little tweaks like Tiger Woods shirt, men's XL. And then I would use dry fit polo as keywords. Adidas shirt, men's XL, and then I would put Climate Chill Polo as keyword. You have Nike Dry Fit Polo Adult Shirt, men's XL. And that makes sense, right? Like, yes, that is a great title, but I'm trying to go for broad. I'm going for majority. I want to get the most. And the most people are searching Nike shirt versus Nike Dry Fit Polo Adult Shirt. right? So just tweaking a little bit, play around with it. And what I suggest, bad goat, is going to your oldest listings first, because your newest listings, that can get improved as you keep listing, but your oldest listings, those are already being suppressed by eBay. So how can we do the work that we did months ago, years ago, and make that really pay off? Is going back into those listings, fixing the titles, checking out the item specifics. Remember, when we first start out on eBay, we may not know what a domain sleeve is. We may not know what open knit is. We might not know what waffle knit is. But now we've learned that. So now we can go back to our oldest listings, maybe pick out a few more item specifics that are relevant to our items and fill that out. Time and time again, I have heard people, I went back and I fixed one listing and I just changed one word and the item sold in one day, and it's been on eBay for 2 years. So do it, because it's something you can do right now for free and to really help you take advantage of the work you already did. It's a lot of work. Photos, the listing, the put away. So might as well go back to the oldest work you've done and make it get on page 1, make it get on page 2 by changing titles, looking at your item specifics. So Robert says, thanks so much for your help. Everything you have advised me makes sense. Trying to build my business, I can't thank you enough. Well, I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you all. This is why I do it, is for you guys. You guys that bring me the fulfillment. I love eBay, but I love helping people so much more. So much more. So I appreciate you. Alexandria says, I would love a store review. I'm doing okay, but not as well as I'd like. Central Coast Basic. Thank you. I will add you to the list. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go, and we are going to crank through this. But I will add you to the list. If I don't get to you, you'll be added to the list for next week's store reviews. Rachel says, you are so awesome for helping us all out. Thank you. Well, thanks for coming in. You guys listen to me blab all day long, so I appreciate you. Pat, you say currently 19 a day. Every month you've been adding 1 a day. Awesome. So is your store the bad goat? Because 19 a day, that's awesome. And you have a great store. I love just the quality, the photos. Unfortunately, I couldn't figure out, your dates for the solds were all mixed up. I don't know if that's just an eBay glitch, most likely. So you're averaging 16 sales a day. Man, that's great. So you're listing 19 and you're selling 16. Beautiful. This is amazing. Pat, you got, and I always talk about this, is that your reselling life is really only as good as your sourcing life. How you get to be where Pat is by sourcing good items. Sourcing not like Gucci and Louis V, but I'm talking like mall brand stuff, good mall brand stuff that's trending right now. Camouflage, plaid, materials, things that's trending. That's how you get to be selling almost as much as your listing, is by picking up good items. So good job. Appreciate the info. You're welcome. Step Mo, what's going on? Good day. Pat, you said, I have been fixing around 50 old listings a week. Very good. I think everybody should be going back and looking at some old listings and doing some tweaks. Every time I do my markdown sale on the first of each month, I go back and look at about 10 to 15 of my oldest listings, and I'm just like always shaking my head like, what was I thinking? What was I doing? Some of them I only filled out like 5 item specifics, but that was young Bo. That was 2.5 years ago. I've learned since then. So things not only sell through my markdown sale, but just through going back and fixing and reworking some of the mistakes I made when I was early in the reseller life. Sapphire, you says, a bit of a silly question, but a buyer asked me if a medium t-shirt measuring 18 inches chest by 25 inches long would fit him at 6'3", 170 pounds. I'm new to clothing. So no, definitely not. A medium shirt, yes, 18-inch pit-to-pit on a... I know for a fact, a medium shirt doesn't fit me, and I'm not 6'3", 170. So I would say, yeah, no. Just also so you avoid a doesn't fit return. But if you go, and look at a medium pit-to-pit, 18, 19 inches, that won't work, unfortunately. But you could just reply and just say, hey, I don't think that's going to work for you. But you could also just say, hey, if you do want to buy it, I do offer whatever type of returns that you do offer. Pat, you said, I noticed they've been like that the last few days. Okay. No, that's cool. That's good. Really good to see like the health of your store. And, let's just say you build up your store to 6, 7, 8,000 items. There's nothing stopping you from getting 40, 50 sales a day if you keep up this quality. That's amazing. So, Pat, you said, I have my listings in custom categories by month listed. Makes it easier to go back and see my old listings. Very good. Yeah, perfect. So, very good store. Sapphire's Treasures Trove. We got you. 683 items. You got 1.6 thousand sold. That's nothing to scoff at. That's good. That's really good. You got a good sized store. Seems like you're selling a little bit of something or other, some teapots, some Christmas candle cup thing. Pretty cool. Kind of just give me a little background on your store. What direction are you heading? Are you wanting to do clothes more? Are you wanting to stay a little bit of an everything seller? Interested. What is your listing habit and what is your sales per day? We'll just check that again just to see what kind of just the health of your store and what you're selling. So 683 items. We would love to see 6 items a day, right? That'd be ideal. So 1 yesterday, you had nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 items yesterday. That was great. The 21st, you had 1. The 20th, you had another good bit. You had 4. The 18th, you missed out on the 19th. All right. I mean, let's just say you're selling between 3 and 4 a day. That's really good. Really nice. At 683 items, and stuff wasn't even closed. It was like plates and glass and stuff like that. So, maybe you're wanting to get into clothing and you're just kind of tired of shipping out plates. That can be understandable. So you say everything is mostly collectibles and vintage. Yeah. And you're trying to get into more clothes. It's very inconsistent. Yeah. I think we all start as everything sellers, but you get to a point of like, I'm kind of getting a little bit tired of shipping out all these variation of items. I'm tired of picking up these items and storing these items. With clothing, the deal breaker for me was like, I wanted to be able to just store the items very easy, ship the items very easy, and that's why I got into clothing. I wanted to be able to source very easy. You don't have to look far to find clothing. And that's the thing for me, was like I wanted to streamline all these processes so I could be as fast as possible. So I understand where you're coming from, but there is no reason, and this is not for everybody, but people do still want to pick up their favorite vintage item and their collectible from time to time. Do it, just as long as you're staying committed to what you're trying to niche down in. So, because niching down doesn't sound so fun. It takes a lot of the thrill out of thrifting and sourcing, right? But it doesn't mean you need to kill that thing you actually enjoy doing. Just as long as you stay committed to your listing habit of the things you're trying to niche down in. So if I'm listing 45 items a day of clothing, but I do find a baseball cap that goes for $150 and I find a video game that's $1 that goes for $200, of course I'm going to pick it up. I'm not an idiot. Because it takes me 2 seconds to list that, right? We're here to make money, and if we're passing up on items that are profitable and that you're already around, you might as well pick it up, right? But I do think it is important that you stay niche down into the items that you really want to stay consistent in, and that's why I do 45 clothes every day for the last 2 years, and I'm going to stay at that for the foreseeable future. But if you do find stuff that you're out thrifting and you want to flip, pick it up. So there's no reason why you shouldn't. Just looking at some of your pictures, I think they're really good. How is your I'm sure you have 2 different setups, because hard to take photos of plates on a vertical flat lay if that's what you're doing. But I'm going to look at some of your clothing photos and listings, just to kind of get an idea. If that's something you're looking to niche down in, then that's the best way that I can help you. But you had been selling a good bit of vintage collectibles, which is good. Maybe you'd want to just slowly keep selling those items and then keep filling your store with more clothing. That's going to be helpful. So looking at some of your Nike hoodies, it is a hoodie, right? I call it a sweater. Nike sweater, men's, women's, small, dry fit. Okay, so having two different genders in the men's category would be a little confusing. So I would stick with whatever the dominant gender of that item would be. So it would be a men's hoodie. So Nike sweater, men's, and then I would put small right after that. And then I would use things like hoodie, sweatshirt, pullover, swoosh. I don't put flaw in the title. I only state that in the condition description because we're how many people are searching for a Nike hoodie and they go Nike hoodie flaw. Like I want a Nike hoodie with a flaw. That's what I'm searching for. Not a lot. So we can change that word flaw and put in a keyword that's going to help your item be found versus kind of deter people from the item. You could put flaw in the condition description, and that's very important that you note that in there. But putting things like flaws and holes or things like that in the title's meant for people to find your item. And if you're using low search keywords, it's going to yield low search results. So Nike sweater, men's small. Photos look on point, very good with the measurements. Pricing looks great, $8.99, 30-day returns, free returns. Let's see, your item specifics look good. Product description looks good. So let's move on to the jacket. Nike Kids Jacket 6M. So you're going to want to figure out, so this looks like a boys. So I would do Nike Jacket, boys, 6M, and there you go. And that's it. So you have it in the boys clothing category. I wouldn't use girl in the title because it's going to be confusing for potential buyers. So in very good condition, $12.95, good price, good shipping price. Photos look clear, very good. And item description. So yeah, I noticed. So you're gonna want to do a template, create a template for your clothing, and then you can have it similar throughout your clothing listings. That's gonna be helpful for you. But yeah, just keep doing it with clothing. It takes time to really learn the keywords, learn what types of items that are in abundance in your area. But also too, like, you know, if you have a lot of these collectibles and you have them already, you might as well get them listed and sold. But you know, it's good that you're trying to niche down into clothing, as sourcing will be a lot easier for you. So Sapphire, you say, I love vintage, but they are long tail. I was hoping to add faster selling with clothing. However, none have sold yet. Yes. Maybe my pricing is wrong on clothes. Well, how are you looking up comps? Are you checking the market? That's really going to be huge for you to figure out how to price your items. But for me, just looking at it, that Nike Kids Jacket, that's on point. The Nike hoodie, maybe with that defect and that flaw, I would charge maybe $14.95 to $17.95. That's just my kind of point of view on that. The Anthropology skirt, I think, is priced well, $24.95. Field and Stream, that's kind of a lower brand for me. You have 2624. I would be selling that at $17. Another Anthropology, that's good price, $29. For the most part, it looks okay. But take some time to research the comps of your items, of your clothing items, before you come up with the price. Because yes, it's huge. You really got to figure out some type of bucket pricing or what you want to figure out when you start getting more into clothing. Glenda says, we've been doing it a month and a half and try to list 5, but nothing consistent. Our store needs a lot of work. Thank you for everything. Yeah, I think every store, no matter how good it is, can always be doing something better. Life is constantly changing. eBay is constantly changing. So therefore, we can always be doing things to initiate change, to make better improvements. No one has the perfect eBay store. There's always things that people can do. Even I can do to get better. I can be doing better photos. I could be doing better sourcing. I could be taking a little bit more time making my listings a little bit better. So there's always things that I can improve and never stop improving. Thank you, Bo. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. So we're getting back into it. The Southern Vibe next door. Hope you're still here. We're jumping into it. I like the branding. You have a theme going on here. That's what I like. Say what you will about store branding and no one visits your store. It's at least better than not, right? So it looks like you're legit, and that's good. From my point of view as a buyer, I'm going like, okay, this is someone that's trying to be a business, trying to act like a business, trying to present themselves in a business manner, rather than just having a picture of whatever, a hot dog or whatever, having something is going to really help, in the long run. eBay's really trying to force people, the stores, and make it more, personalized shopping experience. So you sold 280 about items and you have 409. So let's get into the details of how many you're selling a day. If you're still here, do you want to tell us how many you're listing a day and how many days you've been listing at that amount? It does take a while to be consistent on eBay and your listing to see results. So you've sold already a couple today. 1, 2. Yesterday you sold 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. And the 22nd you sold 1, 2, 3. Very good. 21st. I mean, your sales are great. Really good for only 409 items. I mean, you're almost at that 1% mark of selling about 4 items a day. That is kicking butt. Good job. So let's look at some of your listings. We'll just take this Nike shirt and these Miss Me jeans. So Nike shirt, women's large. Perfect. You already got it knocked out right there. So good initial title structure. And you have orange Tennessee Vols football V-neck big orange country. Very good. You have a good condition description. You are listing from your computer. You have measurements. The photo looks good. Clear. Material tag, very good. And your shipping looks good. And your returns look good. So very good. Let me just accept this offer. Thank you. So I think like the initial basics of your listing here look great. I mean, your price looks good. Getting down into your item specifics. Since you listed this in the college category, I know there's not a lot of item specifics to work with, so that's a good amount for that category. You put in pre-owned, good condition with some signs of wear. Please check photos for measurements and details. Yeah. Something as simple, if you really want to go basic, I think that would be the minimum to put, but also putting things like 30-day free returns, same-day shipping, all items are stored and washed according to eBay guidelines. We offer combined shipping discount for multiple item orders, etc. Things like that can be helpful, and you can make them into bullet points in your template, and then it's just basically selling similar off of that listing, and that's going to transfer over every time. So, but very good shirt listing. We have let me send the invoice. All right, we have these Miss Me jeans. So great title structure. The most important part of it are those first 4 or 5 words. So you have Miss Me jeans, women's 28. That's beautiful. Good job. And I like this keyword, bling. You got bling in there. It's got rhinestone bling. Very good. So, Miss Me jeans. I know some people do that with the legs. That's fine. That's totally fine. And you got your measurements in there. Very good. Cool. So, and you got a good shipping price. Pre-owned, $8.99 shipping. And in good pre-owned condition. So, yeah, you got that title, or you got that default condition description probably in all your listings. So, you got rhinestone, embroidered, skinny, black. I mean, it's color subjective, right? So for me, I probably would have put gray, but that's okay. Whenever colors are it looks greenish brown. For me, to protect myself, I put the dominant color in the title, The item specific is the dominant color. And then in the product description, I put green/brown. I do that to avoid anyone returning it and going, I ordered this and it was green, but it's actually brown. And then it doesn't match description or photos. But if I put green and brown in my description, then my response is I report the buyer and I say it is the buyer's responsibility to read the listing before making the purchase. And eBay cannot really argue with that. They need to read what they're purchasing before committing to it. So that's what I do and I'm slightly colorblind. I know it's like, Bo, what are you thinking? You're colorblind and you're listing clothes on eBay. So whenever I see multiple colors, I just slash green, brown, gray. I think there's a couple listings that I have where it's like I see like 3 colors. So I pick the dominant color and then I do the product description for whatever I see else. So I think you have a really good base foundation for your store. If you're wanting to get more into clothing, you're doing a great job with the title structure, which is our main focus of every live stream and store review is title structure. Alpaca Connection sweater, women's large, perfect. BKA jeans, women's 28, perfect. Awesome. Yes, in some of your shoes, I use the word size because sometimes sometimes people put product numbers or model numbers in their title. So I use size in front of the number to differentiate between the product number, model number, and size. Lily Pulitzer dress, women's medium, perfect. Great job. I would just look to scale and get faster. I personally like having the photo of the full item as the first photo versus I know it's a good photo and it's really got some cool embroidery on the back for these Rock Revival jeans. I just would like to see the whole picture first before I make the decision to click into it, because there might be some buyers that click into it and go, oh, it's boot cut. I don't want that. Oh, it's skinny. I don't want that. So you want to be able to transfer as much information with that first photo as possible before they click into your listing. I hope that was helpful. Kelly says, thank you. And you say you list 7 items daily for about 2 months, mainly clothes with some vintage. Yeah, just keep doing it. It takes a good couple months. I would say 2 months is the bare minimum of listing every day to be able to see any kind of traction on eBay. I'm sorry, but that's just what it's like, and that's what it is. But I will say after 2 months, those next 2 months, once you get to about 4 months, that's going to compound quite a bit because eBay's trying to trust you, right? They're trying to learn your habits. They're trying to figure out who is this person and how can I trust them with our namesake. You remember, at the end of the day, it's eBay's name. They're not... When a person gets a wrong order or they don't get what they got or they didn't get anything at all, they're not going to be cussing out Miss Lady Biscuits 42 from Arkansas. They're going to be cussing out eBay. They're going to be mad at eBay. So they want to make sure that they can trust you with the amount of sales that you're doing, the amount of listings that you're doing, so they can continue to send you more traffic. Remember, your ability in life in general is your ability is trapped in your responsibility. So, are you shipping out on time? Are you getting your listings up in time? All of that has to do with how much business is eBay going to send you. So, good job. Grow slow. The best way in life is to grow slow. Why? Because everyone's going to quit. And if you go slow, you're going to avoid burnout and you're going to see the vision through. Sapphire says, if a t-shirt or sweatshirt could be either sex, how do you know which? And if I put both sexes in the title, wouldn't that help with search? But you're listing it into a category. So women will go into men's categories to sometimes search for clothing, but men won't go into women's categories to search for clothing, if you know what I mean. So if it is unisex, you can use that option. When you list under men's categories, there is an option under department where it'll say men's unisex teens. So you could try that. You could try just using adult, but put it in the men's category. But that's going to be up to you. So I just say pick the dominant sex. So if it's more of a men's, just go with men's. And then what you can do is you could put unisex as a keyword towards the end of your title, but I wouldn't necessarily put men's, women's, because that's just going to be it's just going to be confusing. So but you could use unisex definitely as a keyword. I hope that helps. So I've wondered that about color. Yeah, I had to figure that out soon because colors for me, greens and browns, blues and purples. I don't know what it is. My eyes is what it is. So Kelly, thank you for the info. I'll be going in and changing the listing photos. I appreciate all the info. Yes, you are welcome. So we have time to do one more store review. We're going to get into it. 5-star thrifters, Zahara Tiki. We're going to put you on the list for next week. I promise we're going to get to you next week. I have to cut it short today because I have to get these items shipped out before USPS comes, but we have time for one more. And we're not going away just yet. We're looking at Great Deals Depot USA. Let's go. All right, so you got 505 items. You have 727 sold. Very good. Let's just kind of take a look at some of your newest listings. So I got a few here. I'm going to pull them up. So right off the bat, men's Adidas gray green XL 3-stripe Seattle Sounders hoodie. Okay, so it's in the collegiate category, right? So you're going to want to, this is what I would do. Adidas sweater, men's, XL, and then I would put Seattle Sounders as the team right after the size. So that's what I would do. But yeah, you're going to want to start with brand first and not with the gender. Though it does make sense logically, like, oh yeah, it's a men's sweater, yeah. But as far as like getting the majority of searches, Adidas sweater, men's XL. That's how I would do it. Great price, great shipping, free returns, very good. And I think your photos look pretty awesome. So, and measurements, very good. So looking at, all right, you got a good bit going here, but I like it. It's bold. I can read it. Good condition. You put note. The Sounders logo is a decal. I am guessing this was done by the previous owner. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, but that all looks good. Your item specifics look good. So just kind of rework the title. Your keywords look great. I don't put pre-owned, good pre-owned in the in the title at all. I don't do that at all. I use those types of words for condition description or product description. I'm using the title for search-based keywords. So what do you think people would be searching as a keyword to find this item? They would be putting in full zip, drawstring, trefoil, pockets, polyester blend, cotton blend, hoodie, sports, athletic, outdoor, things like that. It almost looks heathered slightly. So things like that is going to help point to your items much better. And then you could just put good pre-owned in the condition description. So looking at these Dickies slim tapered chino cargo pants, I would put Dickies pants, men's, 36-32, and then you put chino, cargo, khaki, and then you don't need to put good pre-owned. That's like, 15 characters there that you could swap out and put things like preppy, you could put mid-rise, you could put cotton blend, you could put pockets, academia, some newer keywords. So things like that. That's what I would do. So good keywords, just fix the order in which they are. Price is good because Dickies don't sell for very much, so $10, that's a good deal. 30-day returns and a nice product description, and your item specifics look good. I would try to fill out as many item specifics as you can that are going to be relevant to your item. So just looking at your store from a whole, it looks like you had a lot of, oh my goodness. Looks like you had a lot of, okay, it's not going to do that. Did we just lose your store? Okay. So just going back, maybe taking out good pre-owned from all of your item titles and then fixing the structure, getting it so it says brand, item, gender, size. Go to your oldest listings first. That's really going to be helpful for you. And I really feel like doing that first is going to take work you've done years ago, months ago, and revitalize it, because eBay usually generally starts to suppress your listings after a couple months. If there's no traction on them, they're not getting views, and they're falling back on page 9, page 20. So you got to do something. That's why I implement markdown sales. Changing the price via markdown sales is going to be doing something to my listing. But going back to your listings and fixing some titles or fixing some item specifics, that's going to be even better as far as getting more engagement on your items. So getting back into it, the last thing, if you haven't heard, Marcus and I, Dixon's Pickens, have done a reseller mentorship, road to 6 figures. This is our passion. This is what brings us fulfillment, is helping you guys maybe make that switch from your 9-to-5 job and maybe getting into reselling. Or maybe you just want to do it as a side hustle. You could check it out, linked in the description down below. Right now we're offering a 7-day free trial. You could join the community of members. We just hit 31 in our Discord, where we work with you, putting the same systems and processes that help us reach over $320,000 in sales just last year on eBay. Within that, you get an eBay store review guaranteed and a reseller spreadsheet. So you can join dozens of other members growing their stores. We work with you 9 hours a week. Marcus does the morning call on Zoom, and I do the evening call. So you can join, see how you like it. If you don't like it, it is not for everyone. Not everyone knows Discord. Not everyone knows how to use the spreadsheet. That's fine. Try it out. If you don't like it, don't matter. You can leave. It's not for everybody. But if you do like it, just $1 a day after that. So we'd love to see you there. We'd love to hit your goals. And if you guys want to know kind of what I'm even selling on a weekly basis, you could check out this video right here, where it goes more into detail on the items that I'm picking up every week and what they are selling for. I hope you all have a blessed weekend. Get stuff done. Don't quit on your dream. Don't quit on your vision. And we'll see you on Monday. Take care.